Welcome to Street Stunning, and today we're assembling the coilovers. Finally, I tried making this video like 5 days ago, but unfortunately I lost one of the snap rings, and they got here. I had some rinky-dinky pliers, and when I was trying to, there's two of them you gotta open, it shut offline that way, and I just can't find it. So I called them and they sent me some new ones over. I got some spares just in case that happens again. But let's get started. We're gonna start with the front coilovers. I'm gonna move the camera this way, and I'm gonna work on this side just so you can see a little better. Let's get going. So we're gonna do the back ones. There's the back one, I'm assuming. Yep. So this is how they look when you first get them. They're all nice and wrapped. Bam! Look at that bad boy. She nice. She nice. First thing you want to do is you want to get this guy open. Ah, she's so hard. That's what she said. Okay. So there you go. It's nice and open. Comes with this guy, bearings, or the bearing and the washers. I don't know what that guy is called. I believe this is the lock washer. You get some cool little stickers. Let's see if I can get it out. Bam! I'm gonna put this on Andres's vehicle next time he comes over. He's got a Trailblazer SS. Last time he came, I put a different kind of sticker, and he was all mad. Couldn't figure out who did it to him. Okay, so that's, like I said, that's the first thing you want to do. So this goes in here. Boom, like that. I don't know if you can see. And then goes in like that. And then it comes with these snap rings. It comes with two big ones and two little ones. The big ones go around this guy. I believe. Goes in here. I'm losing my mind. Goes in here. So I guess we'll do that one first. This one? Yeah. So you grab it like that. You put it in the two holes. And you squeeze. And you set it. You set it and forget it. You guys remember that commercial? I can't remember what it was too, but I can't remember that part. Okay, so you want to make sure it's in the groove. She's in the groove. She's good. So I'm going to put a little anti-seize in there just in case. Just a little bit, nothing too crazy. Oh no. Put it right here. Just a little bit. Okay, and then you stick it in. Let's see what ankle's better. I guess it doesn't matter. So you stick it in. Let's do it this way. You stick it in the hole. You send it to its home. Come on, buddy. Too good for your home. Oh, she's gonna give me trouble, huh? She's gonna give me trouble. She's gonna do this to me, huh? She's being a hater. There you go. She's in. Okay, you kind of want to center that so when you put the other snap ring. Okay. So then you grab the other snap ring, put it in the hole. See these little holes? Got these little holes. I went and bought some snap ring pliers just for this. Just because the other ones I had were janky. And then you just put it in the hole. Like I said, it's got like a little groove inside of there. You want to get it in there. Oh. Did you get it in? There we go. Okay, so she's in now. And then the next one is this one. Oh, you know what? One side is longer than the other side. I don't know how it goes. Does it matter? I don't think it matters because this will spin. And it doesn't matter because this spins. Just whenever I put it in the car, I just got to make sure I put it right. Okay. So I'm going to put some more anti-seize in this. Just a little bit. I think I overdid it, but so then I'll put it in. Boom, she's in. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put the snap ring on it first. So these ones are small, and these ones, instead of tightening, you gotta open. So the other ones you squeeze to close, and this one you gotta open. But you don't want to open too much because then it won't sit in the groove. So you barely want to get it to where you want it. Like barely where it goes in the hole. You don't want to overdo it because then it'll stretch it out and it won't fit tight. So these open backwards. So boom. There you go. Went on there nice and tight. Okay, now we'll put it in. Okay. Now you grab the other snap ring. And you put it in. The same way. Like I said, you don't want to overdo it because I overdid it on one of the other ones, and now it won't fit it won't fit tight. Just kind of loose in there, so oh, you know what? This one's not where it needs to be. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't get myself like that. Just use the snap ring pliers. There you go. See, now you heard it. Snap in. Now this one, Do the same thing. Well, it looks like she's in. She's in, gentlemen. Oh, no. And this one I was supposed to do it backwards, because I don't think this will go through now. We got a situation, Fowlers. Well, let me take the snap ring off. I didn't think. I got ahead of myself, and now I'm backtracking. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. I'll just take it out. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put this lock ring. It's got a groove up on top and a flat side. You want the groove to be on top. Just all the way down. Okay. And then you got this other guy. Like I said, I don't know what this guy's called. It's like the shock holder. I don't know. Or the spring holder. Who knows? But anyways, you know what? I'm going to put a little bit of lock ring on this one. Or a lock ring. I'm going to put some anti-seize. Okay. So then you put this one in next. All the way down. You know what? I instantly regret doing that. Did all the mess I did? Yeah, it's better the way I did it on the other video. I don't have to clean all this. Okay, and clean it off. Bad idea. Oh man, then this stuff gets everywhere. Like when it gets on, it doesn't come off. Okay. We got that, and then the next thing you want to do is you want to put a flat washer. So it's flat on both sides. Boom. And then your bearing. Call this a bearing washer, I believe. And then your flat washer again. They say to put a dab of anti-seize on the bearing. I'm just gonna put a little bit. And that's as good as it's gonna get. Like I said, put this one in next. Flat washer. And then you wanna put the leaf spring next. This one is an 8-inch. Do I have an open one? So this one is an 8-inch, and it says right here, look. So it says 8DP 450. Put this one in next. But before you do that, see, I'm just gonna, this one's gonna be almost at the top. So you wanna put some Loctite, or not Loctite, sorry, some anti-seize, kind of like where you're gonna be adjusting it. I'm gonna say it's gonna be somewhere around here. If not, I'll take it off and do it all. You know, I'll put some more anti-seize. And just keep putting it on. Just keep putting her on. I mean, if I overdo it, I guess I could take it off just like I did right now. Not that big of a deal. But I don't know, it's weird because some companies say, you know, don't put it on. Viking says you have to put it on in order to keep your warranty. So whatever that means. Put a little bit more. I'm gonna say we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna put this guy. It's got like some symbols on here. It's got the Viking and the, see, it says what, 8DP450. The 450, I believe, is the strength of how hard it is to go down. And it's got a cool little Viking logo. Obviously, you want that facing the right way. Bam. Put that bad boy in there. Look at that. It's already looking cool. And then this, well, obviously, you want this part to go down. And then this part goes up. Bam, like that. And then what I do is I pull it all the way up to the top. And then I just start moving this guys over. You know what? It's gonna need more Loctite. I didn't put it in the right place. So I'm gonna just take it off real quick. You guys get the point. You gotta put the Loctite. I don't know why I keep calling it Loctite. Anti-seize. Anti-seize. Don't listen to me. So excited, man. I've been working on this car. And this car, I've owned it for like, so I'm gonna say like 6 to 7 years. And I've maybe got 100 miles on it. Yes, 100 miles. When I first bought it, I bought it from some so-called friend. And he sold it to me because he supposedly was gonna get a different car. And well, he sold it to me and I bought it in winter, so it was snowing, so I pretty much just picked it up. I picked it up, drove it home, like on a day that it wasn't snowing. And I'm from Colorado, so it snows quite a bit in the winter. And I drove it home, left it in the garage. I would turn it on here and there because I was excited, you know. And I started noticing that sometimes I would turn it on, it would squeak. It would the engine would shake really weird and it would squeak. I would shut it off and it'd go back to normal. So I didn't think nothing of it. I mentioned it to the mechanic. He said to bring it in so they could do a leak down, a compression test and leak down, or whatever you call it. So they did the leak down. they said it was fine. I took it back home, and the summer and spring came. So once you get to there, they say you're supposed to be like an inch in to give some compression. I don't know. That's what they say. So I'll leave this one here, just to give me an idea of where it goes or how much I've moved it. So like I said, I took it home. Spring came along. The first time I drove it to my job, to my job to get a check. And it wasn't even summertime. It was maybe like 60 degrees. And that thing was overheating. Like, I'm talking about buried. So I took it to the shop. They tried doing some things back then. It had a transcooler in front of the radiator. And the shop was like, it's gotta be that. We tried a few things. I took it for a spin. Still didn't work. The funny thing is the car actually caught on fire. Like, it caught on fire. The guy was, I told him, I'm like, it's smoking. I think it's on fire. And he thought I was saying like, oh, it's on fire. Like it was, like it's running really good. You know, it's not overheating no more. But then I told him, no, it's literally on fire. And I popped the hood, and then he saw the flame come up. And by then I had already came out of the car, and he's like, he gave me the hose. He's like, turn it off. I was like, no, let it catch on fire. Because I was so upset with the car, you know, just nothing but problems. And he took the hose out of my hands and shut the car off. Well, then they started it up right after that just to see if it would turn on. And yeah, it turned on, but then it did that thing that I was telling you guys where it would shake and it would squeak. Well, at the time, I didn't know what that sound was or anything like that. And they're like, so maybe I overdid it. I think it's a little too high. So they're like, they had me shut it off right away. They're like, that's one of your main bearings off the crankshaft. So they're like, you're gonna need a rebuild. So I thought about it for a couple days, and you know, I was so disappointed that this guy sold me a car. So-called my friend sold me a car that you know, he knew it had a blown motor. So I decided to just build it. I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna build it. I'm gonna build it big, put a F1X Pro charger. And I did that, but it took, man, the shop took forever. It took like 3 years to get this thing done. And I'm gonna clean this access right here. So it took like I said, it took like 3 years for them to freaking finish the car. And so I just gave up, you know, I was just like, whatever. So finally they had it done, supposedly. I drove it. Maybe like, I drove it 3 times in total, and I'm not talking about like where I drove it to go race it or nothing. I just literally drove it from the shop to my house, from my house. I tried once to take it down to my friend's house, and the bout came off. It ripped. It just basically exploded in a bunch of pieces. Took it back to the shop. They put a new bout. Took it home. And I tried going back to that same friend's house. And when I went back, I made it to his house. But when I got off the highway, the car, I got the light. I took a left, got another light. And the car stopped shifting. It wouldn't shift into third. I just basically had first and second gear. So now I'm put this snap ring back where I had originally done it, but we're a little ahead of ourselves. So So I get to my friend's house, and like it's a Z06, but it's an automatic swap. So it doesn't have a gauge or anything like that. Well, now it's gonna have a gauge now that I've been working on it. But it doesn't have a gauge. It's got like its own oh man, it's got like its own computer system. And I plugged the computer system in just to see what the temperature was of the transmission. And the transmission was like at like 320 or something. It was something ridiculous. So I called him up and I'm like, hey, this thing, ow, this thing is overheating. And you know, I basically tell them what happened, and they're like, well, bring it in. So I take it over there. I sit there for maybe like, I don't know, I want to say like an hour, let it cool off good. And then I let it cool off. I took the small streets. I left the computer thing plugged in, and it would just stay hot. And well, there you go. She's done. But anyways, I took it back to them, and they told me that it was gonna need a new transmission because third gear was out, and was gonna need a new transmission. So I asked them how much it was gonna be. They quoted me at $3,600 just to take the transmission out and put it back in, and then another $2,500 to get the transmission rebuilt. So at this point, I'm like, man, these guys are just fucking milking me, you know? I'm getting tired of this. So I said, nah, you know what? Let me think about it. And I was in the process of selling my house, and I was in the process of moving over here. So I left the car over there for like a couple months, and you know, they got tired of it. They're like, what are you gonna do with the car? Are you gonna come pick it up? Or are you gonna work on it? What are you gonna do? So, and I gave these guys like, I want to say a little bit over $100,000 to build this car. Took them 3 years. At this point, I should have got the car built for free for how long it took them. But anyways, I brought the car home. I trailered it home. Didn't have third gear. I think it was pretty messed up because at the end they just left the car outside, and it got so dirty and it's all muddy, and so I brought it home and I thought about it. I called RPM Transmission and I asked them how much would it cost to rebuild the transmission, just to kind of verify, make sure these guys ain't, you know, lying or something. And you know, because it was an RPM transmission, and they're like, oh, $650 to rebuild. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah. So it was $650 to rebuild the clutches. And so these guys were going to charge me $2,500. And they still told me that if there was something else broke other than the clutches, then I was going to have to pay the difference. RPM had told me that, but just to fix the clutches, it was $650. And then if anything else was broke, then I'd have to pay the difference of that, right? So I got super upset because at this point, these guys are really, you know, trying to get me. And, you know, I understand, you know, that you have to make money, but I had gave them a lot of money. And, you know, it's not like I drove it for a while. I went and raced it and it broke. I literally just drove it. So when I talked to RPM, they said that I should have had an external transcooler, a BNB with the fan. So they didn't put that. They probably never even checked the temperature. They were probably romping on it on the dyno. They never checked the temperature. So it is what it is. But anyways, long story short, I decided to work on my own car. I was like, I'm done working, or I'm done paying somebody. And so I don't know much about working on cars, but I know that I do not want to give somebody else any more money and then still not be happy with the work, because the work they did, I'm not too satisfied with it. Like I said, I'm not a good mechanic, and I have never, you know, done crazy things. I've changed tires and stuff like that, but the anger of just spending all that money and not getting the quality of work that I expected made me work on my car. And how the old saying says, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. And yep, so I did it myself. I took out the tranny, and I had previously took it to them too, and the differential was leaking. And at the time I thought maybe the diff and the tranny, in between the diff and the tranny, had like a gasket or something, a seal or something. And no, it turns out that these guys, they just, the top of the diff, the ears where it connects to the tranny, they were broke. And they decided just to weld, to just put some welds on it. I actually got the piece right here. Boom. They decided just to put some welds on it. And so I ended up having to send the diff out too and get the diff rebuilt. I basically got a brand new diff, new housing, level 4 or stage 4, whatever you want to call. And so I did probably pay like $6,500, but they wanted $3,500 or $3,600 plus 25 plus probably another freaking grand, because they would have said, you know, turns out when I sent the tranny, the drum was broke, so they charged me, you know, they ended up charging me more. But now the transmission is a stage 10, I believe. And so I would have put all that money into that, plus the diff. You know, the diff, they would have probably charged me another, with their prices, it would have been like $5,000. But I ended up saving some money by doing it myself. I learned, and next time it breaks, you best believe I'm ripping it apart, and it'll be a lot easier. But anyways, long story short, don't be scared to work on your car. Worst case scenario, you just do what I did. I left it parked for 3 years because I was so upset with it. But anyways, that's how you build a rear shock, or not a shock, a coilover from Viking. Like I said, I'm gonna have another video of putting this guy together, and that will be it. If you like what you saw and you learned anything, hit the like button, follow, subscribe, share, whatever you want to call it. See you guys. Subscribe.